Hello and welcome to a retrospective look at Don't Starve. This is a game that's been out for a little bit now, and, well, a little bit being quite some time. It's got its own pseudo-sequels and the multiplayer sequel. Hello, Rabbit. And I just thought about talking about this. Just kind of wanted to reminisce about when this first came out and its original ideas. I remember first watching this on Total Biscuit's channel, him talking about this game that originally was based in, I believe, like a browser game or something. And it's become kind of this really big smash hit. And it's kind of it's changed a lot of the way the survival genre works, I feel. Survival's been a thing that's been going on for quite some time. I'm just gonna be kind of doing stuff in the background. I'm not gonna pay too much attention to it. I want to focus more on the points we're trying to make. But survival's been a growing genre in the past couple of years, and that's been very obvious by stuff like DayZ and all the other plethora of games that come out all the time. So the thing that Don't Starve just did was not only with having solid, great support with their constant, they had always had a countdown timer when the next update was going to come for the early access version. And something about that, combined with the game's quality and its animation style, its dedication to its theme, and it's really just pretty sure one of these buttons he just has his own little thing that he says. And it's made out of an instrument. All the characters have their own instrument. There's just something so special about that to me. These things have all their different styles, these paths that come up here, and this is all a randomly generated world. There's a lot that this game offers that the other stuff, if you play Rust or DayZ, you can kind of notice that the game feels like it's not done. But this game, even out of its start, felt like it had a lot of work and polish put into it and had a lot of heart. Which I think could be a really appreciative thing in a game like this. You can make something like this a little bit of that atmosphere, can really push past a lot of its faults. But back then it used to have a lot more faults, and now it's actually a very well-rounded and complete game. With quite a bit of DLC now. Another thing they said that's great about it... Oh fuck! There's, another great thing to say about it is it's a shining example of what to do in early access. Fuck. I'm recording the Win 7 sound. Well, this first bit's gonna be without sound for a second. Well, I'm back and I'm retarded, because I don't know how this software works. I haven't been using it. Yeah, so no, there was actually no problem, and you're gonna have sound just fine. Here's the dead man. Hope you enjoy that. What I was saying on that topic, though, was that this game in the early access had so much, hope to it. There was a lot of support and love and attention to it, and it really kind of shaped what early access probably should be. I also love that you could just spam click and make it go faster. It was this kind of thing that the developers were clearly working towards an end goal, and they knew that their game wasn't done yet. And they knew that it wasn't good enough for the standard that they wanted, and the purpose was that at the end it would come out as a great game. And that's pretty much the story of Don't Starve. You have this thing that started out as something that looked like it had a lot of promise, and then it just fulfilled that promise at the end. That's a really cool thing to see in this kind of age where games get teased or come out. They get teased for months and months and come out, and they get hyped out as this biggest thing ever, and eventually there's just this big disappointment that everyone kind of realizes didn't live up to anything near what it was supposed to be. And then there's just Don't Starve that exists. Which, honestly, is just a shining beacon in that way. Not to say it doesn't have its flaws, but it is quite a spectacular game. I've dumped probably 60 hours, and all my friends combined together have spent hundreds, not counting the Don't Starve Together stuff we've done. All that sorts of things. Now, talking about Clay as a developer, they've actually made quite a few amazing games. They made Shank and Marker the Ninja. All these games that have this very they all have this kind of distinct but different style from each other. Clay has its own kind of style that's... I almost want to say it's a good style, and that's their style. Oh hey, a thing. Get out of there before I go crazy. But they almost have this good style that's good. It's almost graphic novel style in some ways. Either way, it's a very interesting thing to look at through any of the games that they've made. Yet they all seem to have this own difference to them and uniqueness that makes them special. Now, a cool thing about this game has always been like the roster of characters that you have, because each of them also has their own personalities, and that I feel is very important. There's a lot of things that I feel like is overlooked in certain like randomly generated games and stuff, and that's the characters you play as and giving the idea of a story to the world, even if it's just like not very story based. Like this game, you could like never reach like the like quote unquote end of it. With like you could just play the whole game not reaching the end. There is a set end at some point where you like actually like beat the bad guy, and that's cool to see in a game like this where it's like a real end on like other games. I know Minecraft like pretended that there was an end to the game. I was so busy talking, I was starting to lose hunger. Yeah, that's something that's just so special about that. I guess I'm like kind of saying a lot of the same stuff here. Another great thing this game has always had, I think it will kind of shine over and help shine through a lot of the other things that this genre has seen, is that it's really good mod support. It's all the Steam Workshop support and stuff like that really pushes the game towards being something that can be played for years and years and years on end. Not to mention their DLC support that they still keep bringing out, I think to this day. I know this is a waste, but I'm just doing this. I'm not planning on going super far with this character. Another thing, I've mentioned this already, is Don't Starve Together. Still fantastic. Great fun to have. If it could be a little bit, like, unstable sometimes. I think it's still in beta. I haven't played it in a while. It might be stable now. There is a complaint that I have, is that the seasons are very oppressive. Like when winter and summer come around, the game just starts getting really difficult to play if you haven't set up in a while. Or I guess if like you're not very experienced with the game and you're not too sure on how to like go about stuff, when winter and summer hit, it can just kind of kill you. And the fact that you die forever in this game, unless you have like very specific things, can be like a really big like downside. What's in here? Ooh. Okay, there's bees. Fuck you, butterfly. Oh well. But, so yeah, I like, personally, I don't enjoy winter or summer in this, just because it's, to me, I feel that they kind of, like, make the game not, like, it's not about, like, playing at that point. Alright, yeah, you're just kind of, like, sitting in base and not doing anything. You kind of just hang out and wait for yourself to not freeze to death. And for winter to be over. And then there's a few times like, oh, I gotta run out in the winter because it's way too cold or I'm out of some type of thing. And I need to go get that thing. And I get that idea and that dichotomy. But to me, that doesn't really spark what I'm looking for. Because I want to keep like actively trying to pursue these different things. But that is another strength of the game, is that it has an editor for the way that you want to play the game. Oh, another thing. We're just already finding so many things. Alright, no. I don't want this. It's got 3%. Oh, God damn it. Just eat all this shit. I don't care if it's efficient. What was I saying? Oh yeah. They have this incredible engine where you just like, I think you can just set everything that you want. So you can set it to have a ton of stuff. And I remember a great time having with this game is that I just set all of the monsters to maximum and just played the shit out of it and ran around, and everything was just, it was just hell on earth. Everything was killing each other. There was no safe spot to stand anywhere because there were just so many monsters in every direction. And something about that was so like crazy that like, you just set the game like that. I miss that in games, where they just included this thing where you could mess around with the game's own engine and just kind of have a good time. You don't have to worry about the balance of the game or how things work out. You just kind of go. And you have your own time that you made. And that, in this game, makes it feel special. Did I make anything cool? Again, like, yeah, I just picked it up. I was like, I want to make something right now. Got a very good, feel with that. Although, I do want a backpack just to hold stuff back. Oh well, fuck it. Let's just drop this. I don't need that for a while. The randomly generated stuff is nice. The stuff that they've added has really helped. But being able to set things around and making your own kind of idea is very helpful in a game's like play style. So there's a lot of people these days, I feel, that come around. That's very lucky. That come around and they act like a game's difficulty. If a game's marketed as being a difficult game, like that difficulty is what makes that game important or good. This is like the argument with Dark Souls, is that some people have said that like Dark Souls would be a bad game if it wasn't so difficult. And I personally am a person that entirely disagrees with that. So games like Don't Starve and Dark Souls, I feel like if they were not as punishing and difficult, the base gameplay elements that they have would still be rewarding enough that I would still enjoy the hell out of them. Dark Souls and this game itself do get like an identity from what they are, but it in no way lessens them if they weren't there. Or I say, like, the identity you get more adds on to it than takes away if it wasn't there. It's more of like 110%, as opposed to being 10% of the 100. It's almost nighttime again. I forgot how like fast days feel in this game. Stay sane forever. Now, there is one thing that I really didn't like about this experience, was when I found out about the endgame, which was basically you collecting all these things that I've just been randomly picking up. There's like 5 of them, I believe. And you just take them to a portal. And after you get through the portal, you have to go through like 5 different worlds that are like challenge worlds, and you get through them, and at the very end, you like win the game. I think it's 5, I'm not sure how many more it is. I just like getting to that point and realizing this, that I'd spent 20, 30, 40 hours in this world that I'd made, and like, I walked around and I knew the map entirely well, and I knew everything around the area, and I collected a bunch of stuff, and I was really like this force to be reckoned with in nature, and I carved myself that I own part of this world that's not part of me. And then like, it was like, go to this new world and you have no resources. And also it's snowing all the time. Go find all of the parts like you just did. And then after that, you're going to have a slightly harder world. You're going to have to do that 4 more times. And then you win the game. I think that that's just, like, a really strange way to go about it. I kind of imagined it would just kind of be like, if once you get all these things, you better get ready for some, like, super battle. Or some certain thing like that. Which I think that kind of, like, harshened the mood when I kind of found out about that. And if you die in those things, you have to restart from the very, like, you just are spat back into the world that you left. So if you went through like 3 different worlds doing all that, and then you just got killed, like blindsided by something and died, you're just, however much time you spent in that is just gone, and there's no real point to it. Which brings me to the last point of the game, was that somehow I feel like this game, the permadeath thing, wasn't like that big of a thing for me. I've of course died in this game before, and like lost my world, but the game never felt like I was really either in too much danger. It felt more like I was, like, if I ever did die, most of the time I just had something to revive me. And it felt after a while that the game was kind of more just about managing the revival. And it was like, well, if you ever forget to do that, then, you lose. And everything you've ever done is gone. Which is like a crushing, like, idea. That you could just have this entire world and just die. And I know that that's, like, that's awesome to some people. They could just do all this shit, and because they messed up, it's gone, and that's like this experience that they've had. And that's inherently survival games, unless you're talking about like base Minecraft, which not is really like a staple of the industry anymore, as much as it used to be back in 2000 and like what, 10? It's just like the thought of that I think might have driven me away from this game after I'd hit a very far point. I reached this point where I just didn't want to leave my base or do things that are dangerous or go out in the wintertime. I just wanted to stock up and never, ever do anything and just be safe. Which honestly is what I would do in a real survival situation. I wouldn't want to get out of this world. I'd just, like, build a super fort and never leave. Which in some way I guess is, like, cool thematically. I don't know, I just kind of wish that there was, like, something else to support it rather than this massive gauntlet of just go and go and go, and then you hit the end and that's it. I don't believe I have anything else to say about this game. Overall, I like had a point list here, and there's like 8 things that to praise about the game. and like the two things that I didn't like about it initially. So you know, not a very bad streak for them. Now we could end this night. We could end this right. So let's end this retrospective right, and just light everything on fire as we go, and just see what happens. Oh god! I forgot I had a touchstone already. Wish I could just light those bees on fire. Let's just burn down the entire world. This entire world that was crafted hand-picked for me by this beautiful engine in this beautiful game. I'm just gonna destroy everything. Also fire. Fuck fire in this game. That's my other complaint. Is that sometimes lightning would just strike and your entire base burns down. It's like, oh, you're dead now. Because. Thank you, Clay. I haven't actually taken any damage yet. Just light shit on fire. Fuck you, wilderness. Although the fire seems to not be spreading as much as I remember it. Oh well. Oddly enough, not much is lighting on fire. This is a very terrible, ending. Oh, this all looks good. Yes. On this burning forest note, I think I'm just gonna leave it off here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you maybe I kind of brought you back to thinking about this game, and maybe you go play it and have a good time. And don't ever beat it, because it takes way too long. And I'll see you maybe next time. Thank you so much for watching.